Hey guys, how's it going? Before this video technically starts off, something came to my attention during the editing of this video, and that is that I didn't actually give this movie a rating. So I'll just kind of give my rating right now. I think I'm sitting at about an 8.0 on Silent Night, Deadly Night. I have a couple of problems with the movie, but it's overall not a huge hindrance. It does kind of, there are parts of this movie that kind of tick me off. And I'll get more into that in the video itself. This is just kind of an intro to tell you my rating and to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, because I didn't wish you a Merry Christmas until like the last 30 seconds of the video. So, yeah, no, Merry Christmas, guys, and Happy New Year, and I hope you enjoy the review. Oh, hi, Mark. All right, let's try this again. I already recorded the beginning of this video once, but I kept done goofing, so... Actually, I kept getting texts. Same damn thing. Anyway, Silent Night, Deadly Night is a slasher film from 1984, based around the holiday season, as the title suggests. So first of all, I want to address something about this movie. Not really about this movie, but pertaining to the movie and the channel. To me, really. If, I don't know, because I haven't been doing this for long, so I don't know if you guys saw the botched... Jesus Christ, Lucio. What have you done? Lucio's kind of a dick to my cat. Lucio, come here. Come here. Oh, you're playing. He's playing. Anyway, I don't know if you guys saw that kind of botched Return of the Living Dead review I did. But it was botched. Anyway, at one point in that review, I said that I thought that was the only film with Linnea Quigley that I've ever seen. Untrue, because I had seen Silent Night, Deadly Night like 2 or 3 times before I did that review, so... Very untrue. Anyway, that was just a random thing that I figured I'd address. But anyway, yeah, this is a fun freaking movie. It's one of my favorite Christmas horror films. Of course, really the only real competition this film has, I'd say, is Black Christmas from 1974. Let's just start this with my notes, as we always do, but I kind of jump around here and there, so it's gonna be, I might be hard to follow. First up here, the song that they're listening to in the beginning of the movie when they're driving to the kind of old folks' home. Christmas Fever. Is this a real song? There are 2 songs in this film. What were they called? It was Christmas Fever and something else. Oh yeah, Santa's Creeping. Christmas Fever and Santa's Creeping. At least that's what I've dubbed the other song. That's what I've called it, referred to it as. But are these real songs, or are these just songs that they used because they couldn't get a hold of the rights of any of the other Christmas songs? I know that they actually did use a couple other Christmas songs, which I actually addressed that later in my notes. I was like, this Christmas Fever and Santa's Creeping song, they seem to be the only Christmas songs in existence in this film. But I was incorrect, because they do actually later do Billy sings Silent Night, Deadly Night, and then at the end, Mother Superior has the children sing Jingle Bells, I believe, and then I think the other, if I'm remembering right, the other one is O Come All Ye Faithful. It could have been a different one, but I'm pretty sure it was O Come All Ye Faithful. Anyway, I just thought that was pretty funny. They have these 2 songs that I've never heard of before, and they're so They're used in this movie. They are definitely used. Enough, believe me. Another thing that I'd like to address is that the Grandpa's a dick. He's playing catatonic, right? Like, he doesn't want to talk to his family. That's what I gathered from that. Okay? He was playing catatonic just to avoid talking to his family, and then as soon as his family left the room and left him with the kid, he starts talking to the kid and telling him that Santa is going to come and punish him. No wonder this kid has issues. Damn, man. Yeah. And then later that night, after he said, Santa's gonna come and punish you, the kid's mom's like, oh, he's a foolish old man, and he shouldn't have said that. And he's like, oh, Mommy. which was the greatest reaction ever. He's like, oh, Mom. She's like, it's naughty to say bad things about old people. Santa will punish you too. And then, of course, later, Santa actually tries to first force himself on her. Well, not Santa, but a guy dressed up like Santa, who had just robbed the convenience store, tries to force himself onto his mother, or force himself onto his mother. And then when he decides that it's not worth the trouble, he goes ahead and slits her throat with a switchblade. Oh yeah, and he shoots his dad in the head with a 1911. Yeah, that might mess a kid up just a little bit. Just a little. Also, in this film, the villain's name is Billy, which is also the villain's name in Black Christmas. It's kind of an odd parallel there. I'm almost kind of wondering if Silent Night, Deadly Night was paying homage to Black Christmas. Of course, maybe that's a reach. I don't know. I thought it was definitely worth noting. And then, oh my God, fucking Mother Superior. This is she's not my biggest issue with the film, but the fact that she isn't brutally murdered is my biggest issue with the film. She's such a bad person. I mean, she's genuinely a bad person. It almost seems like it's trying to show her in a sympathetic light or redeem her in the end when she's like protecting the children. I'm sorry, no. Nope. No. You're a bad person. God, you're a bad person. I mean, what in the hell are you thinking? Genuinely, they should have taken Billy away. They should have taken all these kids away, because they should have taken away her orphanage permit, or whatever the fuck those are called. But, like, she ties Billy to his bed and leaves him, and he's sitting there crying. He's like, please let me free. And she's like, punishment is necessary. And then she beats the kid with a belt, which, whatever. But, like, the sister Margaret or whatever, she let him, she was like, hey, Mother Superior just wants what's best for you, Billy. Go play with the other children. That's what's best for you. Which, yeah, totally. That's what's best for him. You're right. You was right. But Mother Superior, obviously Mother Superior doesn't want what's best for you. She just wants you to understand that there are indeed repercussions for your actions. So every single time you make an action of doing anything, she will beat you. Like, I swear to God, if this kid ate his pancakes at the breakfast table wrong, Mother Superior would be like, you are a very naughty child. And she would take him over a chair and beat his ass with a belt. This chick gets under my bloody skin every single time I watch this movie. I can't stand this bitch. She's so bad. And then later in the movie, not much later, but like after she beats him and fucking ties him to a bed because he has a night terror and he gets up because God forbid he have a night terror and need to leave his room for something. Maybe a drink of water. Maybe he was looking for you, you stupid, unsupportive, hoe bag bitch. Maybe. Or maybe he was trying to sneak out. You know what? You're right, Mother Superior. He was probably trying to sneak out. Let's tie him to his bed. After all of that happens, she proceeds to force him to sit on Santa's lap. By the way, she's well aware of what he went through. Well aware of it. Like, she knows. 100%. And the kid was what? 5, 6? When his mom and dad died? And she's like, oh, he doesn't remember. He won't remember. When he's like drawing these deranged drawings of Santa being stabbed and a reindeer being beheaded. Like, oh, he obviously doesn't remember. No, he obviously does. And you need to get him help. You stupid, ignorant, old bag of skin and bone. He doesn't remember. Yeah, no, he's gonna sit on Santa's lap and he's gonna behave. And if not, I will beat him. Oh, yeah. What a fucking tactic. Mother Superior of the Year here. God, Jesus. Yeah, seriously, how is she not brutally murdered by the end of this film? I'm sorry. I get it, she dies in Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. I guess, spoiler alert, if you really cared. Or if you weren't expecting her to die, or whatever. Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 is a sack of shit. I know a lot of people enjoy it for the bad film that it is. Hold on, my dog is... Lucio, hey! Hey, quit licking your paws. But I know a lot of people enjoyed it for the bad movie that it is, but it's not. I can't do Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. I mean, half of that movie is the previous movie. It's just a recap of the previous movie. It's not my thing for sure. Not to mention the main villain in that movie just reminds me of this kid that my buddy and I went to high school with, and that kid was such an arrogant douche, and the character in this movie is such an arrogant douche, and they share this very similar arrogant douchiness, just about them, kind of a very similar personality. But yeah, it's those things are kind of what prevent me from enjoying that film as much as I could. But I still love the garbage day scene. That scene's great. But, yeah, and then the murder rampage in this movie is basically Mother Superior's fault. Because, like, yeah, there is some stuff in here where it's like, yes, this kid, he's going to be damaged for the rest of his life, for sure. But the thing about that is if Mother Superior had gotten him the proper help, he wouldn't have done these things. Are you shitting me? This is all her fault. Further going to prove that she is a terrible shitbag human being. Also, say hi to the people. I love you, Lucio. But yeah, further proving that she's a shitbag human being. I just don't get it. I just don't. Because if you really think about this, his childhood trauma with his mom and his dad and the Santa guy, okay, that happens. And then in the orphanage, the Catholic orphanage, they start to see signs that this is affecting him as a person. This is starting to come back in his memory. So instead of getting him a psychiatrist, Mother Superior beats the shit out of him and ties him up. And forces him to sit on the lap of a person who looks exactly like the person who murdered his parents. Yep. Yeah, no, that sounds like great. You're great with children. You really are, Mother Superior. You're phenomenal. I mean, this is ridiculous. And Sister Margaret, I think her name's Sister Margaret, right? Like, if there's a sister, her name has to be Margaret. I don't know why. I want to say she's referred to as Sister Margaret in this movie, but I could just be making that up, totally. But the sister, she even tells Mother Superior, like, we need to get him help. And then Mother Superior's like, help? Only thing that kid needs is a good slap in the face. And smack with a belt. And all the other evil shit I surely did to him. Like, everything in this movie could have been prevented if Mother Superior wasn't such a shitty fucking human. Genuinely. Everything. Because if she would have got him help, then by the time he was an adult, he would have been more well-adjusted, he would have been more stable, and so when his boss asked him to do the Santa Claus thing, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Because he would have been more well-adjusted and stable. But instead, he goes on a murder rampage. Because of Mother Superior's shitty bullshit. Yeah, and then this is another thing. Oh my god. More Mother Superior crap. I'm sorry, but there's so much in this movie that bugs me about her. Like, she sees all the kids playing with their toys on Christmas morning, and she said, what's the quote? She says, I see nothing but greed where there should be gratitude. Are you shitting me? The children are playing with their toys on Christmas morning, and you're disgusted with it. She's such an unredeemable character. It's disgusting. I don't comprehend how anyone can be like that. But whatever. But Billy finally, he grows up, gets himself a job, and he's actually a pretty good employee, like up until Christmas time. Like, this guy seems like a genuinely good employee, which is really weird. But he actually is, like, a good employee. Like, even the Joe Pesci looking asshole is like, he's like, the first few months you were here, I didn't actually mind you, kid. And it's like everyone liked him, and he seemed to do his job. But then, of course, because of Mother Superior's shitty parenting, he went a little haywire on the holidays. Yeah, and then this next note here I have says, Joe Pesci looking asshole is an asshole. Seems like pretty solid logic. Yeah. And then the next note is just, Billy is mentally wrecked, and it's not hard to see why, and it's really not. He is taught that punishment is absolute by the shitty nun that's raising him, basically. He's constantly punished for everything he does. His parents are murdered in front of him. And he can't get help. No one's gonna help him. They're just going to punish him for saying anything about it or expressing it in any way, shape, or form. And then later, after he's already been screwed up for years, and he's received no help with this whatsoever, his boss makes him dress like Santa Claus. Granted, his boss didn't know. His boss isn't as shitty of a person, if a shitty person at all. I don't really think he is. But yeah, speaking of his boss, I do really like that guy. I think his name was Sims. The moment the store closes, I think it was Christmas Eve. Yeah, because that's when the murder rampage begins, right? The minute the store closes on Christmas Eve, he's like, it's 7 p.m., time to get shit-faced! And he goes and he retrieves a bunch of bottles of booze, and he's like talking to Billy, and he's like, here, kid. He's like, stick with me. By the time this party's over, you're gonna believe you actually are Santa Claus. Which is kind of funny little foreshadowing moment there, because it's pretty much what happens in this movie. Is I think he just kind of gets so twisted mentally that he believes he's Santa Claus, and his grandpa told him Santa Claus punishes. From what he's seen, from the brutal murder that took place in front of him when he was a child, Santa Claus punishes. So what's he gonna do once he starts believing he's Santa Claus? Well, he's gonna punish. So yeah. But anyway, and then the Joe Pesci looking asshole, that's just how I'll refer to him, because I don't remember his name in the movie. He's just kind of a shitty little throwaway douchebag. But the Joe Pesci looking guy, he brings Billy's hot co-worker to the back room with him, and he's like, yeah, I got a present for you back here. And she's like, well, why don't you just give it to me up there in front of everyone else? By the way, who refers to their penis as a present? I want to know. Because I guarantee you, you're the one that's going to be receiving the present. Like, if she agrees to do it, because I don't think she cares that much. Honestly. And obviously, she's showing outward, no, that's okay. Keep your penis to yourself. Keep your wiener out of me. That's alright. I you know what? I'll just get the fake stuff at home. I don't want your Joe Pesci penis anywhere near me. And he's just so like, oh yeah, I got a Christmas present for you. Oh, well, the Christmas present has to be given to you back here. Here's the Christmas present. Something I wanted to give you for a long time. Like, no. No. And then, of course, we have one of these kind of anti-hero moments, like in, dear God, like in Friday the 13th Part 8, where, where Jason saves Rennie from the two rapists in the alley, that sort of thing. Except I think, I'm sorry, my voice is going, and I don't know why. But I think this is more of a conscious decision, whereas with Jason, he's just kind of inclined to kill people. With this, it actually is an anti-hero moment, because he is actually doing this because he recognizes that this is a bad thing that this person's doing to her. And, yeah, he hangs... How jacked is Billy, man? He hangs him with the lights, and he's just holding him up there. That's crazy, but, yeah, and then the chick is like, oh, you crazy bastard! You a crazy bastard! Oh my God, I can't believe you've done this! And I'm just sitting there like, what? He tried to rape you. Now, granted, probably a bit of an overaction, not reaction, but an overaction on Billy's part. Maybe killing someone with a strand of Christmas lights is a bit of an overreaction. But still, like, he tried to rape you. You know that, right? Like, you had no false illusions as to what was going on, correct? Because make no mistake, something terrible was about to happen. And this guy in the Santa uniform just stopped it. Maybe just a pebble of gratitude, or I don't know, at least not be like, oh, you're a crazy bastard. Like, even if you were going to go to the cops, which is probably a rational way to go about this. Because obviously he just killed somebody. That's still wrong, right? But even then, you could still be like, yeah, thanks, Billy. Like, you could at least fake it till you make it. You know, you could at least be like, yeah, thanks. Which, to be clear, technically, even if you were a little scared by the guy, that's still a thanks. That's still a thanks waiting to happen, or it should have been, because that was I don't know, that's always weirded me out ever since the first time I saw this movie. I was just like, that's your only reaction? Like, I guess, yeah, it's a little crazy that he just decides to kill somebody, but even then, it's a little much to call the guy that saved you a bastard. But, last page here. This movie actually has some pretty good kills. Now, of course, I have the Anchor Bay one, where a lot of the stuff is actually edited back into the film, where you can clearly see in this edition, like, where the cut footage shows up, because it's grainy as all living shit. And I guess it was probably just damaged, like the film was damaged in some way, shape, or form. All the cut footage that they've been able to retrieve, but still, either way, it was pretty cool that they were able to retrieve the footage, and it's definitely worth it. It definitely pays off. I mean, the kills in this movie end up being really cool. The antler kill with that's Linnea Quigley's kill, actually, where she gets stuck on the antlers, which pretty cool. It's kind of weird that that's like the only movie that I know that kill from. Like, I don't really think there's many other films that have that exact kill in them, which is again kind of strange, because that's a pretty cool kind of inventive kill. But and then there's the arrow kill, which I thought was pretty cool. The arrow through the chest. And then there was the decapitation on the sledding hill, and the what else? I mean, they were all pretty good. Of course, the light hanging, they were all pretty good and pretty graphic as well. So, I don't know. I'm satisfied with the kills in this movie for sure. Definitely what you want out of a slasher film. But also, I'm not sure about it. Maybe tell me in the comments if I'm right or wrong. Just one moment. But yeah, tell me in the comments if I'm right or wrong. But isn't this the movie where, like, I don't know exactly who it was, if it was like Roper and Ebert, or whoever the hell the two big movie critics are. Or it was some form of talk show about movies. Wasn't, because I know there was a certain film where they like read off the names of the people involved with the movie, and then they go, "Shame on you," like on friggin' television. Wasn't that this movie? Because they were saying, like, oh, it's so terrible that they're taking this guy in a Santa costume and having him kill people. Like, what's crazy about that is that's not... Santa is terrifying when you really think about it. Like, it's not that big of a stretch. You don't have to do that much to make him scary, especially since I'm pretty sure, like, OG Santa wasn't, to put it like the guy in, or the kid in Rare Exports, the original Santa was way different. The Coca-Cola Santa is just a fake. But, yeah, like, it's not that damn hard. And this movie isn't made for children. That's another thing. Like, I think their whole thing was like, oh, I can't believe that you would do this to children. Like, this is obvious. This is a children, or, you know, Santa's a children's figure. I can't believe that you would, you know, like, get out of here, man. Just get out of here. This is not a film made for children. Any halfway decent parent wouldn't show their kid this unless their kid was like 17. And even then, I don't think I'd want to watch this film with my children. Just saying, like, I personally wouldn't want to do it. Even if they were like 17. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't get the whole shame on you thing, but pretty sure that was this movie, correct? Anyway. Yeah, that was so fucking mean. And then there's a scene where, in the end of the film, the cop is trying to stop Billy. Well, he thinks it's Billy. And he's like, stop right there, hold it right there, or I'll shoot. And he just keeps going, and he shoots him like 2 or 3 times in the back. And then he finds out that it wasn't Billy. But it in fact was a deaf priest. Oh my god. If it wasn't bad enough that he was deaf, he's also a priest. And if it wasn't bad enough that he's a priest, he's also deaf. That's why he didn't stop, was because he was deaf. Oh my god. God, I mean, you know, he'd be haunted by that the rest of his life, which brings me back to Mother Superior. She's given this guy shit for shooting this guy in the Santa costume. He didn't want to shoot him. Whenever a cop has to shoot somebody, they don't want to do that. Believe it or not. Contrary to what certain people are trying to sell currently. Yeah, when cops shoot people, they don't want to do it. Usually, when a cop shoots someone, it's because the person has fucked around and therefore must now find out. And so he thought this guy dressed as Santa was going to kill these children, and so he shot him. Now, could he done something different? Sure, but of course he's surely full of adrenaline. You know, adrenaline's probably pumping through him at this point, and he just doesn't. He's not thinking to tase him or whatever. He has his gun out. This is what he can do to stop the murder of children. And Mother Superior is on his freaking case about this later. Like, she's like, oh, you've already done more harm than good here. Why would you even think that he was the killer? And it's like, do you honestly think that he's not sorry for that? Like, I don't know. It was so unnecessary. I understand why you would be like that. I'm not even saying necessarily that I wouldn't be like that. Like, trying my damnedest to make you a bad guy. Because when, especially since this was like a priest, right? Like, surely the priest and Mother Superior knew each other. So this is like a personal thing to her. So I'm not even saying that necessarily, if I were Mother Superior in that situation, that I wouldn't be like pissed off and just looking to, you know, verbally pound this cop who just shot the guy. But also, like, as a viewer, I'm not seeing it through that lens. I'm seeing it more through the lens of the cop, honestly, because Mother Superior's already been set up to be awful. And so I'm just sitting there thinking, like, this guy already had the worst day of his life. Like, he had to draw his gun, he had to shoot, and not only did he have to do those two things, or at least he thought he had to do those two things in that moment, but he later finds out that it's a deaf priest who he shot. Yeah, no, don't you worry, Mother Superior. He'll be scarred for the rest of his life. It's okay. You don't have to beat on him. You don't have to verbally assault this guy. Because, don't you worry, he will 100% be haunted in his nightmares for the rest of his life. And more than anything, that was just a gripe because it was more another example of Mother Superior being a bitch. But then Billy actually does come, and one of the kids lets him in because he thinks it's Santa, which I'm kind of mystified because I'm pretty sure they were all aware at this point that there is a killer dressed as Santa coming. Because, like, even Mother Superior says, she's like, they're all scared. Doesn't she say that at some point? She's like, oh, they're so scared, let's sing. And that's why they sung, right? That's why they started singing Jingle Bells and Come All Ye Faithful. Because everyone was scared of this killer that was going to come who's dressed like Santa Claus. Why did he open the door? Not only was that stupid for that reason, but it was also stupid because he didn't even have the beard fastened to his face. It wasn't like that. It was like this. You ever see Santa Claus walk around with no mustache and his chin hanging out? I don't know. That's pretty damn silly to me. Someone might want to get that kid some help too, because that's not a convincing Santa. But yeah, oh god, Billy should have killed Mother Superior right then and there. I mean, it would have been a lot more satisfying. I don't know. Like, at least have some sort of resolution with it, with this particular arc. Yeah, that's like my biggest problem with this film. Is it's just she should have died, because she's built up to be this colossally awful human being. And of course, whenever a slasher film does that, it's like, alright, yeah, we're gonna kill her later. But this movie never does. However, there is another gripe that I have with this film. I don't know if it's valid, but I think it is. Because I'm pretty sure the scene where Billy is smacked with the belt takes place in 1974, if I'm not mistaken. I may be mistaken. I don't know. That might not be true, but I'm pretty sure it was 1974. I want to say it was 1974. And then you go to 1984, and his younger brother was what? I mean, probably 6 or so, back in 1974. And so that's been 10 years since 1974. And in the end of this film, pretty sure that's the brother, right? Where the axe is on the ground. And he looks at the camera and he goes, "Punish," because they wanted to set it up for a sequel. Right? Pretty sure that's Billy's brother. Well, if that's the case, and it actually is 74 to 84, which again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I didn't pay as much attention to that beginning date as I should have, because I forgot that this exists, like this issue that I have in my mind anyway. But in this scene where he's like, "Punish," and it's supposed to be Billy's brother, that kid is like 12 years old. And pretty sure he wasn't 2 years old when when Billy was in the orphanage with him, like back in that scene. So what's going on here? I guess the movie forgot how to timeline, but that's what it seems like to me. They just forgot how to timeline, because pretty sure it was goofing. And I think even Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 had some sort of, or some form of goofed timeline to it as well. I couldn't be sure, because I've only seen that film once. I really didn't enjoy my time much with that film at all. If I ever feel like watching the good parts of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 again, I'll just look up Garbage Day on YouTube, because that's about all there was for the film for me. But anyway, yes, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 1. I was about to say Part 2. Silent Night, Deadly Night, those are my thoughts. Those are kind of some notes that I took just to kind of discuss it. I really enjoy the film. What do you guys think about the film? Yeah, one of my better liked holiday horror films. And yeah, Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.